Welcome to Talk Tuesday, a series dedicated to empowering youth and families. This program is brought to you by Steps Foundation Incorporated, where advocacy meets education to support and uplift young minds. Each month, we dive into meaningful topics designed to spark growth, boost confidence, and equip you with the tools to navigate life with purpose and power. I'm Amaya Ward McCaskill, your host and peer educator with Steps Foundation Incorporated. This month, we're focusing on something that affects everyone, especially as the year winds down: money management for teens and young adults before the holidays. Let's be honest, this season can bring a lot of pressure. Between gift giving, social events, and family obligations, it's easy to feel overwhelmed when it comes to managing money. And for many teens and young adults, it may be the first time you're making financial decisions on your own. That's why now is the perfect time to build smart money habits that will last way beyond the holidays. This month, we're talking about budgeting, saving, making intentional choices, and avoiding that post holiday financial stress. It's not just about saying no to spending, it's about learning how to say yes to your goals. We're here to give you the tools to make confident, informed money decisions that align with your values and future plans. Financial wellness is self care, and just like with mental health, knowing how to manage your money is a form of empowerment. You've got the power to build habits that support your dreams, and it starts right now. Let's dig in, learn together, and get financially ready for the holidays and beyond. Over to you, Alani.
Hi everyone. So my first question is, how can teens avoid the pressure to overspend when giving to family and friends?
Not everyone at once.
I was going to say, I think Alex got that.
Man, you don't want me again. No, I'm just kidding. Um, Actually, it's a very good question because young kids, especially high schoolers, are already at that point where some of them have part-time jobs. They want to go ahead and give those gifts to those family members, and there is a certain pressure there. But what you need to understand is that you should already have a goal and you need to stick to whatever that financial goal is for the holiday season. And I have to be honest here, and I'm going to speak to you as I was at one point a very young teenager, and now as a parent. Um, More than anything, it's not so much the gift as it is your intention of giving something to that person, that loved one. And it's not so much about how much money you spend, because as I told my kids, you could get me something that's worth a lot of money, put yourself in a financial bind, and that only brings temporary enjoyment. A gift is just temporary enjoyment. What brings happiness is a thought that you went out and you got me something, whatever that may be. And it doesn't have to be nothing expensive. It just has to be meaningful, meaning and practical. So I tell my kids, sometimes they ask me, well, what would you like for your birthday or for Christmas, for what, any other particular occasion? Well, I want something that's practical, and practical doesn't have to be expensive. It just has to be something useful. Sometime I will ask for a book, just a book that might cost $13. And they'll say, well, Dad, but that's not a lot of money. Well, it's not about how much money you spend. It's about what's practical and useful for me, right? You're asking me what I want. This is what I need, and it needs to, fit within whatever budget you may have. And if it doesn't, that's okay. It's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. It's a thought that counts. So first, get your budget in mind. What's your goal, right? You should have an overall budget of what you want to spend for whatever people you want to give to. And then from there on, find a practical gift, something that they're going to use and enjoy. I like to read books. I enjoy my books, and books are something that I keep. So I can always go back. And when I go back, I can say, hey, my daughter gave me this, my son gave me this, and it has a lot of meaning behind that. So practicals are going to be the key here. Practical and something that you are able to afford.
See, I told y'all Alex had the answer. And I think this is awesome because I think we kind of touched on some of this last week when we were having a discussion. I feel like teens always feel like they have to spend a lot of money to make people happy. And you really don't. I love what Alex said when you think about like practical gifts. And sometimes it don't require you to spend much of anything. I'm sorry, I'm a very sentimental person, and so I am happy with like the homemade gifts. So like the things that actually required you to do something to make it and then give it to me, because then I'm like, oh, you pour all of your heart and soul into this. The handmade cards, you don't gotta go spend $6 on Hallmark because
Nope.
they're no longer 99 cents, y'all. They're like $2 and up for a nice little card that you could have created yourself that came from the heart with all the words that you wanted to express to a person. And I feel like those are the ones that people keep thinking about, like those of you who are into like crafting things, because I know there are a lot of students who have great creativity. So if you are like an artsy kid, like you love to draw, you like to paint, do those things and gift them out. Look, your family will appreciate it, I assure you. Even your friends will appreciate it, because a lot of times we want a thing to show off. Be like, hey, when my friend make it, I already had the first one. You just came next. So like a lot of people love those types of gifts. So I feel like take the dollar out of it and
Agreed.
think about where your heart is. What is it that you really want them to take away from that gift that you're giving them? I know a gift card is great because then they'll go buy whatever it is they want. But I feel like we could give so much more that's meaningful to a person outside of just giving them like materialistic things.
Well,
I feel.
and I'll give you an example of a gift that I got from one of my children for Father's Day. Again, I love chocolates and I love simplicity. Money doesn't impress me in terms of gift. So my daughter she wrote me a letter, didn't get a card, wrote me a letter, very meaningful letter, and bought me a bag of Snickers, because Snickers is my favorite candy bar. And let me tell you, I almost cried just because of how simple the gift was, but more important, how meaningful, because I know she sat down to write something that came from her heart. And that carries a lot more weight and meaning than any other type of gifts. Again, it's not so much about how much money it is, because it really, at the end of the day, doesn't matter. It's the meaning behind it, and again, how practical it is. And for me, that's practical. One of my other kids gave me, I used to be in the Army a long time ago, and I love those little soldiers, the little green soldiers that come with a little parachute. They gave me a whole bag of those. Perfect. I mean, that's just, again, simple, inexpensive. I think they went to Dollar General. And do you think I'm going to see him go, oh my God, you went to Dollar General? Yeah, that's not enough. No, of course not. No, of course not. Of course not. Great gifts, small, very inexpensive. And it didn't get me anything, just the letter enough. Just the letter is enough, because I know they sat down to think about what I meant to them as a father on Father's Day. And that just carries weight. So don't overdo it. Don't kill yourself. And I say that in this way. Don't try to kill yourself to try to impress. Simple. Keep it simple, and you'd be surprised how much weight that carries to that other person.
So if I was to add to it, right, listening to the message, I totally agree. I would add the ingredient, because a lot of times we look at simple and we will do something that doesn't align to that person. And that's because we didn't hear, or we're not listening to what they're asking. So over a year's time, I've had it where friends, family, yeah, my mom may be like, hey, I want a car. And she may have said it, I want an expensive car, even though she has one, right? But hearing like the small things in between that, she'd be like, yeah, you know what? I actually just want something to get me from here to here. And then I want something to get me this and this. So hearing those key things, you may not have the money to do the major. Yeah, she may want a Bentley, but she just needs a car.
Correct.
She just needs a car. And then there's, like he was saying with the letter, sometimes it's talking to our friends and hearing them out where they're like, man, nobody listens to me. It's a simple letter. So yeah, keeping it simple, but understanding and listening to what exactly that they want, it will go a long, long way. Because we can leverage simple and we can do it so wrong and we could be looked at as if we're not actually caring. And then now you're looking at it from a point of, man, they ain't even spend no money, nor did they even do anything that aligns. So adding simple, but putting the ingredient to hearing what a person truly is telling you. And that shows from, just like he was saying with the small army men, right? Though that small thing is not about the amount of it, the value of him receiving that is way more than him getting a Bentley from his kids. The value, and he'll hold on to that longer than he will. He'll trade the car in after a while, but that army, he'll keep it forever, all the way until whenever, right? But he'll hold it, and every time he sees it, the conversation is always the same. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's how you keep your money, by being simple, listening to those that are around you, and being impactful at the same time.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said.
And now I'm about to add on to that, because not only with the simplicity and with that heartfelt, you have to be thoughtful. And I see, Alex, your kids were very thoughtful with that, because it wasn't just that letter that, again, you said they sat down and thought about. They had to think about what they were going to say to you, because a lot of times you can't express into words your gratitude. So they definitely tried as best they can. And that box of chocolates and them knowing that like Snickers is your favorite candy, that also holds a lot, because not only did they listen to you and think about it, they thought, okay, what would my dad like? Like, what is his favorite thing? And like, how do I get this for him in a way that'd be meaningful? And so I really love that. And that's a perfect example of how so simple things can be so inexpensive, but so impactful, because they actually had this, like, think about that. And that's just with anybody, family, friends, like even people you see close to you, like mentors, they will see the meaning in that. But you have to kind of think about it. What would be the most impactful thing to get them? And it doesn't even have to be expensive. Like, it could be the most inexpensive thing as long as it holds some type of value or brings back something like a good time y'all had. It doesn't even have to be like a favorite thing. It can be like something that will remind both of you of a time you shared. And it is not going to be expensive most of the time. Like, it could be like maybe y'all went to like a trip and you buy like your uncle something that reminds y'all of the trip. It'll make a good memory.
I love it. I love it. I got a high five Miles. And value has no dollar sign in the
It's
chat.
true.
And
It's
that's the
true.
truth.
It is true.
Yes, it is so
It is
true.
true.
It is so true. I feel like, y'all came out the gate with question 1, and I was supposed to put this collection plate up. Hold on. Come on, Elani. We're going to give you question 2. Go ahead.
How can social media affect how teens feels about their holiday, giving or receiving?
Can you say it one more time for me?
Yeah. How can social media affect how teens feel about their holiday, giving or receiving?
I think we tapped into this one maybe 2 weeks ago when we talked about like how social media stuff influences what teens buy, right? And it's like so in your face They see it on TikTok, they see it on Instagram, they see it from their friend groups because now the friends are sharing it in group chats and things like that. And I feel like a lot of times, especially when we think about what teens actually have in order to give. So Alex mentioned, right? Some teens have jobs, but then some teens don't. And so while some have the money to be able to afford to give their friends or their family members gifts, other teens aren't so fortunate to have the funds to be able to purchase those items to give their friends to give. But when they look at things on social media and they hear consistently, oh my gosh, I really want this. I want this so bad. They feel obligated almost to purchase a thing for a friend or a family member because it's the thing that they saw on social media. But now we're going to go back to what Alex and Malcolm mentioned, right? Is it even meaningful? Because we already know half the time people see the stuff on TikTok and they're going to use it one time and never look at it again. So was
Right.
it even a meaningful gift?
Correct. All it did was bring temporary enjoyment, and the
Yes.
key here is temporary.
Yes.
And notice I said enjoyment. I didn't say happiness.
Yes.
Material things do not bring happiness. They bring enjoyment, and most of it at that just temporary. For example, let's say you buy the car that you want. You liked it. You're sitting here. You're going, oh my God, I got this car, this and the other. The enjoyment is temporary because within 2 or 3 months, it's just another car. It's just another car. That's all it is. Whereas happiness lasts forever. Enjoyment is just temporary. So don't feel pressure about what you're seeing externally, meaning social media, that you feel that you have to do something in which you shouldn't, or you don't have the means to. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. I promise you, I've got adult friends who constantly try to keep up with the Joneses. And if you don't know what that phrase mean, that saying means, it's just trying to keep up with an illusion of something that you really can't. If you have a rich friend and you're not rich, what you're trying to do is try to keep an image that is not real, and in the process you're bankrupting yourself. So don't do that. Be true to yourself. Know what your ceiling is in regards to spending, or if you don't have any, you don't have any. Again, it's just knowing where you're at, and don't allow social media pressure to affect your thinking to whereas you're putting yourself in harm's way. Because at the end of the day, if you overspend or you spend, or for those of you who already have some type of credit card, if you overspend, that is your debt. It's not your parents' debt. It's not your friend's debt. And nobody's coming to rescue you. So don't put yourself in a predicament. You always set yourself up for success. Always. You set yourself up for success. Your friends are not going to do it. So don't try to give somebody $100 perfume that, you're not getting back. Okay. And if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. So again, what counts is the meaning and the practicality of that gift, not the amount of money. You're not getting that back. Be true to yourself, know your limits, and stick to those limits. Once you've reached that limit, that's it. That's all there is, So again, don't feel obligated to buy something that you can't afford for somebody, or even for yourself. Be good to yourself. You need to be good to yourself first. Because if you're not good to yourself, you're not going to be good to anybody else. Treat yourself with respect. Treat yourself with importance. Know what your limit is and stick to that. As long as you do that, you'll be good.
I agree. Oh, my bad, Lamar. Go ahead.
No, you good.
So I agree 1,000%. Social media will have your friend excited, and then you want to fight your friend because they're going to end up not using that gift in 2 months. Or you're going to, like, for instance, I have one of my close friends now wants the Meta glasses, one of my close friends, and they want it because that was something that I was looking at, but I'm always on camera. I'm always doing events, so it makes sense. So I'm writing it off, but they just want it because they wanted to use it for sports. Well, we're adults. We're not playing sports every day. So you're wanting it, and then you're going to take it off because at some point of time, it's going to get in the way. So the math is not mapping. So I don't see myself paying for this for you because I don't see the value of you having it. And honestly, if you can't have a conversation like that with your friends and being very transparent, and they get upset with you because you can't do something, then you need to reevaluate your friendship, right?
Malcolm,
Um,
that is so true, Malcolm. You have no idea. And with that, let me just say this real quick. And my wife told me this at one point, and it freaked me out. She goes, "Did you know that the word friend ends with "and," meaning that all friendships end at some point?" And I'm like, "What? I never thought of that, but it's so true. Friends are temporary. Listen, at the end of the day, your true friends, you're going to be able to count them in one hand, and you're still going to have fingers leftovers. You're really true friends. So well said, Malcolm. That's
Absolutely.
true.
And I to even add to it, the word relationship, friendship, all of it has ship at the end, and ship sail away at times.
Yeah.
So you just gotta be you just gotta, be mindful of who you want to dock on your boat when but yeah, so I'm very vocal with my circle. And if it's something that I see that they're going to use, it makes sense for me to spend money. I don't, and I tell everyone around me, I don't have money just to throw at you when I can use it for things that's going to make sense. Yes, I want to make sure I celebrate whatever it is. Yes, I want to do this, but the money that I allocate to gifts, there's a percentage, and if I can't get that percentage because I have other things, well, don't be mad when you just get a phone call. Hey, how you doing? Happy birthday, man. I appreciate you. I love you. And if you have a problem with that, and when things are up and the percentage is up, I'm not about to give you anything because you didn't appreciate the things that actually it meant something for me to call you because I remembered. But if you can't appreciate the small things, there's no way that I'm going to go out my way to give you anything big. You'll get another phone call. You might not get one the next year, and we'll pray about it.
Well said. Well said.
Look, I had to go and throw the gold bar up there. I see y'all. I see y'all. See, listen, we knew when these men came on here to take over tonight, y'all.
And look, I love the fact that y'all said that if a relationship being like either a friendship or like a intimate relationship has a price tag, you're gonna have to reevaluate that. Because that's so true. And that also has social media has a big effect on that too. Because everything is so in your face, especially during this time, that everyone want this. And if you got money, they're gonna be asking you to get this for them and that. But is they really gonna use it though? That's the same conversation we had like 2-3 weeks ago. If you're gonna spend this money on this during this time, are you gonna use it? And that is the same for you and anyone you gift. Are they gonna use it? Does it hold the actual value after you spend that money on them?
I think for teens that is so important to consider and think about, right? Because even as adults, right, you hear like we see it too. People assume that we're the bank and they want additional things. But for you guys as teens, your money is not as much as what most of us make, right? And so think about that. Are the things that your friends or your family members asking you for even realistic? Because if it requires you to go broke, how is it helping you? And the goal should not be that you're spending all of your money making other people happy. What are you saving for yourself and how is it helping you? So this is where we go back to them needs versus wants. They want a thing, but do they need it? How is it helping them thrive or succeed in their real life? So consider that when people are coming to you and they're asking you for things, is it even a realistic thing that you can do? And you should not have to go broke to please other people. That is not what giving during the holiday season looks like. And I also need y'all to remember that giving doesn't always require you giving money.
Correct.
Give your time. Showing up at the house, helping them wash the dishes after the holiday season, that is giving.
Mhm.
Do you know how many mamas in the kitchen cooking and like, baby, can you just pick up the trash and take it out? That's giving. So remember that giving does not always mean that you are giving money to make others happy. Give your time, give small gifts, and give things that are like we mentioned earlier are practical, which means it can be handmade, it can be thoughtful. Look, a box of chocolates. Listen, I'm with Alex because look, Alex said he likes Snickers. Y'all get me some almond joy, and I'm ecstatic.
Give you some Reese's cups or Twix. We gonna put that in the freezer.
See, I'm glad you know, son. You know, y'all serenade me with that. You ain't gonna hear from me for a while because I'm over here in a chocolate coma. I'm good.
Oh no. You're not gonna be chocolate coma because I'm gonna eat half of it.
I don't mind sharing. Look, that's part of being the gift, right? Giving a gift means sometimes we can share our gift with others.
Yep.
I like what you were saying, Abby, where you were saying show up, being there, because there's many times, and I always have to be very vulnerable on my end. There's many times where I'm either investing in something and I just don't have the money to do something else. And someone's like, "Hey, Malcolm, can you show up? Can you do this?" And hey, look, I don't have the cash right now, but what does it look like setting up? What does it look like at the end? Matter of fact, what can I do? Do you want me to serve food? And there are times, and I'm pretty sure you know this as well, Abby. There's times I'm at an event and I'm the main speaker, and I'm trying to get there as early as possible, even though it's not my place. But I'm getting there as early as possible. Hey, let me help you set up. Let me clean up. Hey, I'll serve food. I'll do this, and I'm the main speaker. And it's not because I already know I'm about to pour into them, but what else can I do? When you have that mindset and you do it wholeheartedly, people actually respect you even more. The gifts are great, but you'll be remembered because of your heart and then your wallet. And that's how you truly want to be remembered.
Great. My next question is, how do cultural or family traditions influence how we give during the holidays?
Look, them family traditions gonna depend every single time you go into a household because it's different religions. So we also gotta go back to I think it was a different talk Tuesday, either last month or earlier this month, where he was talking about what like the religions have to do with the holidays, where it's gonna be different cultures and you're gonna have to like adapt to different spaces, right? So it's the same thing for the holidays, and it's worse for the holidays because now you in people's house. See, now you at somebody's house trying to get a plate. So now you have to be respectful of their culture and what their house rules entails.
Not you at their house trying to get a plate.
Right?
Big.
He at the house trying to get a whole plate.
Listen, he done took it from gift giving to getting a plate, y'all. Look.
That was my gift showing up, and your gift to me showing up is giving me your plate. Hallelujah.
Right.
And-
How I don't know how far you want me to go, Abby. I'm gonna say this. So growing up, man, I'm trying to be politically correct. Growing up,
You said that with a smile.
right? My mother, even to this day, even today, my mother is a firm believer where she will say, "Hey, go ahead and give that to him," and it could be my last. And I'm like, "No, I can't do that. I can't do that. No. God's gonna bless you. Just go ahead and give it to him." And I look at it and I understand where she's coming from, and she has valid points. But always, and I want to say this to the world: yes, God will bless you, but God gives you wisdom. God gives you understanding. He gives you self control. He gives you, hey, if you can't, you can't. Don't feel if there's a family member or someone that's telling you, hey, just give your last dollar, and it's not in you to give it at the moment because you don't have it. Don't feel pressured because you're gonna have people that's always saying God's going to. Not saying I don't believe in him. Don't get me wrong, but I'm wise enough to know that he gave me understanding and he gave me a mind of what to do. He gave me self-control. He gave me discipline. He gave me the ability to count, and he gave me the ability to see that my bills that's about to come up, right? So don't allow individuals that, and my mother grew up very old school, so and that's what she believed in, and nothing to my mom. My mom, she's well taken care of this day, but her situations, I had to learn how to get. I had to learn from her faults. I had to learn that credit was good. I had to learn everything that she didn't know. So what she went up against financially, I had to dig myself out of her hole and learn and make sure my son was educated while I'm pulling her out of her situation. So when she's saying God is good, he's always good and he's always going to bless, but he gave me wisdom knowing how to. So if I have the ability to help out, or if I'm compelled to be a blessing and give my last, that's because I know that's something that, hey, I know they need it more than I do, but I'm not going to let every situation. You heard that in my ear. Oh, God to give it back. No, sometimes he's looking to see if you're disciplined, if you're understanding, if you're sound, or if you're in tune. And it's a whole nother conversation. My bad. If you're in tune to him and not voices around you. Because sometimes the voices around you are telling you, oh, do this, and he's not telling you to do it. And you out here broke, wondering like, hey, you're supposed to help me out. And he looking at you, I didn't tell you to do it. And you listen to everybody else. So be mindful who you listen to. And whoever higher power is, I'll put it that way. Because you'll have, and it can be your own parents, and not saying they're bad people, but their voice is not of him. Now I'll get back to the regular. My bad. I went off a little bit.
I would say use
Not you
common
got
sense.
the amen in the chat, by the way.
I would say use common sense. I mean, when you go do something, you'll know. You know if you've got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. If you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. You know, Malcolm said it best, really. I mean, don't overdo it. You know. You will know. And just follow your instincts. You'll be surprised. Your instincts usually will guide you right. If you listen to your instincts, it will guide you right. I would say that, and normally I very, very rarely do I not listen to my instincts. And when I don't listen to my instincts, I usually end up failing. Okay. Just because I didn't listen, because I knew better. Something on the inside was telling me, no, no, no. And I said yes, and came back to bit me. So just follow your instincts. Your instinct will guide you. And you know if you can. And in regards to, you know, giving your time, you know, I like working on cars. That's just my hobby. And what I'll do is, you know, sometimes, you know, adults don't know how to manage their money. And if you give them money for things, they'll misspend that money or not utilize that money the way it's supposed to. So what I like to do is I tell, you know, my wife's friends and my kids' friends, you know, hey, if the parents get an issue with a car and I can fix it, they buy the part and I fix it for free. That's my time. That's how I give my time, right? And so I tend to do that quite often, just because I'm helping somebody else out. And it kind of builds a sense of responsibility for them because they have to buy the part. I'll do the labor. I'll fix it for free. And they can get the car back on the road with, you know, under no time. So, so again, it doesn't have to be always about money, but I am giving, right? I am giving of my time. I am helping somebody else out. And, you know, I'm pretty sure in the holiday season, somebody may need either help, you know, setting up the Christmas decoration. That's giving if you can help, right? It is, you know. So, and that goes a long way, you know, and again, keep it simple. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Money is not everything. And for those of you that, again, got, you know, you got your own credit card now, be wise, you know, be wise. You know, one thing that doesn't get taught in high school or basically at any point is money management, it's financial management. And
They
what
do
you
now.
Right,
They
they
do
do
now.
now.
Literacy class
Um,
in high school.
and but I gotta be honest. There's a saying that goes, if you want to be rich, surround yourself by rich people. If you want to be famous, surround yourself by somebody who's famous, right? Well, if you want to be literate in financial management, surround yourself with people who are good with money. Ask a lot of questions, and you'd be surprised what they tell you. Most of the time, when I go buy things, I always ask myself, do I need it? Do I want it? If it's a need, I buy. If it's I want and I can afford it without hurting myself, I will get it. If not, then hey, no big deal. I'll just wait. It's not the end of the world. I'll either get it today, tomorrow, or in the future, I'll get it. So I'm not in a hurry. But the needs are always come first. And if I've got a little left over and I can, yes. If not, again, no big deal. Because I always set myself up for success. You know, as you grow older and once you get out of high school, you're going to realize that credit is everything. Credit is the bloodline for you to get a loan and pay low interest. Credit is everything, even for insurance. I'm an insurance agent by trade. So, and the first thing insurance companies look at, whether it be for life insurance, health insurance, auto insurance, home, renters, whatever type of insurance, the first thing they look at is your credit score. That's the first thing, because that is indicative of the type of person that you are. And they're not looking at skin color, they're not looking at race, they're looking at just a profile of numbers. And they're going, okay, this person has a 700 credit score, 800 credit score, a 650 or a 550. And it tells you what type of person that you are. It paints a picture. So financial literacy is important. Managing your money responsibly is very important. And again, and I'll say this, you're going to hear me say this often, set yourself up for success. Yourself, not nobody else, yourself. Look out for yourself first, because you can't help somebody if you can't help yourself. You can't.
I love that. I love that. I think another piece to us, when we talk about like how does cultural and family traditions influence how our teens start to give, right? I think back to what Malcolm said, like when we show up at the grandparents' house, or the older aunties and uncles who may be carrying on some of those traditions, I feel like every family has at least some type of tradition that they carry. And if you notice, like there are some families that they do like the little dollar gifts, and like people just like grab the dollar things, put them in a bag so you don't know what's in it, and then like they pass it around, and like whoever gets it, right? And I feel like sometimes those are awesome traditions because it teaches you to like whatever is given to you, no matter what you receive. It teaches us to be grateful in those moments because it's not going to be the big gift, right? And I also think like when we have traditions like that, it teaches our kids that in a world that's around us, everybody does not have what you may be blessed with. And so it teaches us to be grateful for the things that we are surrounded by so that we can help others. And again, it's not about going broke to help people, y'all. And I love Malcolm's example because it really is, especially like in our culture and tradition, it's always about giving, but giving to the point where you can't even provide for yourself right now. So why are we still giving if you can't take care of you? So how do you learn how to break those traditions and cycles? Again, God is good all the time. And all the time, God is good. Right?
Mm-hmm.
we get it. We know. We was raised on it. But I agree with you, Mal. Like God gave us discernment. And we have to be able to look at where we stand as individuals and how we can truly help another. And it goes back to Alex, right? Giving the simplistic gifts where it doesn't require a lot. That can be a new tradition if it's not already in your family that you start. Traditions are meant to expand. Why, yes, the concept is there, but we can always expand the tradition. And nobody said the tradition had to stay the same. Be a new tradition setter. Just saying. So teens, this is where you start looking at what are some of the things in your family that you desire to change for the family that you eventually have, and start to change it? But I love that question, Leilani. I think that was a good one. That's a good one. So before I close us out, I gotta say, like, I love that students chose this topic, because again, like, I think the pressures of the holidays is not just for parents. The kids feel it too, because they're trying to buy gifts for friends, or they're trying to buy gifts for family members when sometimes they don't have the means to do it. But like Alex said, like, sometimes they're trying to keep up with the Joneses. And we know social media plays a huge role in trying to keep up with what others are giving or sharing or providing that they may not have the means to. So I'm grateful for our students who have chosen these topics, because listen, they said this what they want to hear. So hopefully you guys were able to take something away in hopes of spending wiser, making better decisions. I mean, we literally 4 weeks, 4 whole weeks talking about money and how to make sure like you are good for this holiday season. So hopefully you guys had some great takeaways, some pretty awesome stuff to use. Before I close out, Lamar, I'm going to turn it over to you, Mr. Youth Program Ambassador, to give us your public service announcement, and then I will go over to the other stuff and close us out. You ready, Uncas?
Seriously? Really? Really? All right. What's up, y'all? It's Lamar. You already know, the youth program ambassador with Stutz Foundation. And you know, we gonna wrap up Top Tuesday for this year. But I got something to tell y'all. The end of the year don't mean the end of your money. Right now, it's so easy to get pulled into the holiday hype, sales, gift lists, social media pressures. But here's the truth here. You don't gotta go broke to be generous. We've talked about many ways you can do that, right? Some of the most powerful gifts you can give don't cost a thing. Your time, your voice, your energy, your kindness. That's just a few examples. And when you save smart and spend with intention, you're not just protecting your money, you're building a future and protecting your future too. Because trust me, that credit score gonna do you later. So here's your challenge for these holidays. Ask yourself, what can I give that's meaningful, and what can I save that'll do me justice later? Own your budget, respect your goals, and remember, you get to decide when you show up. And speaking of showing up, we got some events for y'all. Look, we got our first youth program ambassador advocacy project, and trust me, you gonna want to be in here. It's gonna be good. We hosting a powerful youth-led workshop called Stand Up for Human Rights on December 21st, which is a Friday. No, it's not a Friday. Never mind. It's a Sunday. I almost got that wrong. I'm thinking the wrong date. All right. It's a Sunday during Christmas break. So trust me, these teens gonna have to show up. We gonna need y'all to show up. Yeah, it's at 1 p.m. at Hart Memorial Library in downtown Kissimmee. This workshop is breaking down what human rights actually are and why they matter for our generation, and how we as teens can speak up, take action, and stand together when those rights are challenged. They shouldn't be. So we gonna know what they are by the end of that. We calling all these teens to the table because the fight for justice, equality, and dignity needs your voice in it. Seats are limited and registrations open soon, so keep an eye out and be ready to claim your spot, because being a leader ain't about waiting your turn. It's about standing up now and making your mark. You better do that. We gonna need y'all to do that. Seriously.
Oh, signed, sealed, and delivered by our youth program ambassador. Okay. Look, I gotta say, I am so proud of the teams in YPA. They are ready to deliver. So this workshop, I'm super, super proud of them for putting together. So kudos to y'all for your first advocacy initiative. And look, I know it's gonna be a success. Why? Because it's by you guys, it's by team. So led by teams, for teams. So teams, when he said pull up, he meant that He gave y'all eye. I'm just saying, he gave y'all face for real. So that being said, our last November event is going to be November 29th. We have Family Walk in the Park. So yes, after y'all eat all the turkeys on Thursday, eat all the ham, y'all need to come out, hang out with us on November 29th at the Kissimmee Lakefront Park, where we're doing Family Walk in the Park at 12 p.m. So you can come out with all of your loved ones, walk with us. It's simple, peaceful, and full of good conversation. We'll be handing out conversation cards to guide meaningful talks while you walk. And then afterwards, we got some snacks, some waters, maybe even some freeze pops for y'all. We'll sit under the tree, but we're going to actually have a discussion on the things that you guys discussed with the conversation cards as you walked together. Sometimes the best way to reconnect during the holidays is to simply connect. And so that is what we're going to be doing. So we are so excited to close out November in that way, because it's a great way to show gratitude. So for those of you who want to know more about events, you can see our events on our website at www.stepsfoundation.org/events. And don't forget to follow us on social media, because you can find all the things that we have coming up there too. So if you're curious of where that is, go to Facebook or Instagram and just put @Steps Foundation Inc. and you'll find us. All right. So I want you guys to remember that you are not behind. You are not bad with money, and you are not alone in learning how to manage it. Financial wellness is a journey, not a race. And every step you take toward understanding your money is a step towards your independence and your future. We are proud to be a part of a growing movement where young people are taking control of their finances with confidence and care. Keep asking questions, keep setting goals, and choosing what's best for you and not what looks good on social media. So we want to thank you guys for being part of Talk Tuesday this month, and honestly for being part of Talk Tuesday all year long. So for those of you who don't know, we do not do Talk Tuesday in December, as we know many people are on vacation, but it is also our time to recoup. But we're grateful for each of our speakers. Shout out Alex. Shout out Mel. And shout out to our youth program ambassador for showing up. You'll start seeing our other youth program ambassador coming into the new year. We will be back in January with new topics that our students have chosen. And we are super excited again to continue the journey. So that being said, you guys, I want you to keep showing up the way that you do. Stay smart, stay focused, and most of all, stay true to your values. And until next time, stay inspired, stay empowered, and keep building your future. We will see you guys next year. That sounds so weird to say, but next year, y'all. We'll see you in 2026. Good night.